What's up? Hey, everybody. What's up? Okay, I'm going to give it a couple minutes till we get to 1,000 people in here. Just kidding. We never wait for that. We're not about that life. How are you doing today? Feeling very shiny, very moistured. How are you today? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you didn't catch too much in my shorts. Anyways, guys, I'm grateful that this is live. I'm grateful that we could do this together. And so what am I on here for? I'm just on here to help you remember who you are, where you're from, and where you are. I feel like there's nothing wrong with reminding each other where you came from and where you have arrived. Also to remind you of what you've been through, right? The deliverances that you've gone through. How you doing, by the way? I hope that you're doing well. And I pray that in our time that we're apart, I pray that you're doing so much growing that you'll look like a different person to me next time I meet you. What's that? You say I don't know you? That's perfectly fine. I think if our paths ever cross, we're going to still find ourselves in some event of growth and renewal, right? So welcome to the new, to the old. And I don't even know who to welcome sometimes, right? Because I don't really and not analyze things except for when I'm recording things to go on other platforms. But anyways, guys, I'm just trying to do small time little talk cast, right? I feel like I would call it a podcast, but that's not exactly it, right? But I guess you could call it that. Anyways, guys, we're in full progress. This is year 5 of doing this sort of thing. And I'm grateful. I'm not mad at myself that I share stories. I'm grateful that I share stories. I'm grateful that I'm not grateful that I failed, but I do hold wisdom for my past and for the mistakes I've made. So if in my failure, I failed first, so you don't have to, right? If you can learn anything, if you can live vicariously through me and all the crazy stuff that I've done and all the crazy wildernesses that I put myself into, if you look back into the scar stories, I advise you to check those out because you get to know a little parts of me that I'm not necessarily sharing with the whole world, because these are, I feel like they're the part of what make me me, right? And I don't necessarily share the stories when out in public, but I feel like it was necessary to make it so public that anyone anywhere could reach it, not just my family members and friends or whatever that might appear in my life, acquaintances, whatever, my pets. Right? I mean, they benefit from things too. They benefit or not benefit, right? And remember, you're enjoying music from Ganesha Obsidian, right? That song is called Ganesha Obsidian. The artist, which is me, is 999 ancestors. So if you need music to raise your vibration, you need music to dance to, I would say pick on your favorite songs. From there, I have many albums up on YouTube Music. And I'll expand, once I make money from things, I think I can put it on different platforms. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a hobby that I have. And it's something that I just did to make sure that there's music like this available for people that are making a transition from 440 hertz to music like 117. See, my music is kind of special because I put... so 117 hertz... right, on most of my songs, and 432 hertz. Those two hertz parallel in my music, most of my songs. And of course, the more recent ones are the better stuff, I believe, right? You look at my first album, it's kind of like it's just a lot of tones and sounds put together. But it doesn't matter because that's what made me brave enough to release the second one and then to release the third one and so on. So I advise you to check out the very latest ones, right? Something that I'm very much into right now is recording nature sounds, and then I'll change the hertz on that. Just because there's enough 440 hertz music that hurts people. It really literally fucks with your psyche. It messes with your physiology. and it can subliminally affect your mood, right? You wonder why you're depressed. You wonder why there's anxiety. Change the way. I didn't say change the music you listen to. I'm saying change the hertz. And I think this is a popular thing in life, right? A lot of people are changing the hertz into their music. I'm honestly not the first, right? There's been tons of people before me that have been putting different hertz on their music. So it's very fabulous. Check out all that stuff. Let's say if you put in 432 hertz, right? Or if you just put like, gosh, what do I look up? I look up different stuff. Let's say, I honestly just look up hertz. There's different platforms out there, channels that will change your favorite song to a good hertz, right? To a 432. And I'll get to why I use 2 hertz in my music. So in the process of observing that there's other people that change their hertz, there's a lot of channels that change your favorite song. So don't be afraid to look for your favorite song, and then in a different hertz, like 432 hertz, which is 432 is the sound, is the vibration, is the hertz of the earth. And then we get to 528, which is a healing one. So is 117. So is a lot of other ones, right? You got 396. There's a lot of different vibrations. You got 850. I think I said 850, but there's 852. There's 360, 963. And I think I'm sounding like a crazy person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 0, 1, 1. But I mean, this is all like binaural effects. Scientists have studied this stuff, that different sounds help with different things in the human body, right? There's even sounds that kill parasites in your body. So check that out because it's very popular. And now the reason I use two different hertz in my music. So what I'll basically do is I'll mess, and anybody can do this, right? You mess with the equalizer, right? And then you move your frequency, you move your hertz, right? If you've got the time to do that, then then you're smart enough to figure that out. And you can move it to your favorite hertz, right? So my suggestion to you is listen to, let's say you sit down and you listen to Ganesha Obsidian, which I'm playing here in the background, right? So there's a few things in there. 117 hertz, 432 hertz, those two are meant to create a different sound in your particular body. So because everybody's body, every single individual on the planet, we might have similar bodies, but we have different blood, right? I'm not saying that it changes color. I'm saying it changes how it is, right? Its structure. So anyways, so different stuff happens when you hear music in a different body. So the person standing next to me at a concert or just listening to music at home, right? If you're listening to two different tones, like I put it in my music, 117, 432, right? If one individual listens to that, it's different to what's going on in the other person's body. And they can be standing right next to each other. Why? Because we all have different physiology. Blood types. Let's just think, I'm talking about blood types. Blood types, A, B, O, ABO. Then you got other ones. You got RHs. You have what else? What is it? The RHs are the rarest. Anyway, so different things happen in your body when you listen to music. That's why when some people listen to country music, no offense to people that listen to country music, but I can't really stand country music. It's too I already know it's 440 hertz and it fucks with my shit. So forgive me for changing the channel because it's not my bag, baby. So I'm listening to things in 432 hertz. I listen to B frequency. I listen to Bs. If you are somebody that suffers from PTSD, definitely check out B sounds. Just type in B sounds, bee humming, bee buzzing into your YouTube or whatever, and it'll come up a bunch of stuff. And some of it, they have tuned it to 396. Some of them tune it to other things, right? Some people leave the bee sounds as they are, right? The bees don't have any kind of conspiracy giving us 440 hertz vibes, right? They give us better vibes. Do I know what vibes and hertz frequency that they emit? I'm not sure. But I do know that people with PTSD heal upon hearing B frequencies, B sounds. So bzzz, that sound, put it in your earphones, put it in your background when you get ready. If you suffer from PTSD, think of that as one of your arsenal tools. One of those things too that you are able to pull out to not just are we taking antidepressives, we're taking antidepressive music. Check that out, because we're going to be fully conscious and fully aware in our healing, right? And we're not going to be embarrassed about healing, because either you're going to heal and hurt, or you're going to stay where the fuck you are and hurt. So let's count our options again. So you're going to heal and hurt, because nothing in life is, unless there's many things that are feeling lovely and fancy free in life and world. But what I'm saying is that healing sometimes it requires pain. A lot of times when you get a cut on your arm, your skin, your body goes into full heal mode, right? Right. So what am I trying to say? That everything that you need is in you, right? And everything you need to heal and to like be a better person, that's in you, right? So as you can tell from the cut on our skin that happens, it's a healing process, right? First there's like blood, and then there's like maybe pus, nasty shit comes out of it. But you know, if a healing cut, should be going through a tiny bit of that, and then no infection, right? You should be cleaning it all the time, letting it breathe, but also taking care of it. Hey, I'm not a nurse around here. Ask your nurses. But what I'm saying, what I'm trying to refer to is healing. Is healing on a spiritual and an emotional level. It's going to hurt a little bit sometimes bringing old things up, which I remind you that those memories that you have are just recordings. Let me say it again. Those memories that you have are just recordings. So, I mean, I hope it kind of, you felt that, because when I heard that, I said, wow, the memories I have, this connected to PTSD memories that I have, they're just a recording of something that happened in my life. They're not actually happening now. Right. So anyways, remember guys, that in our sharing of failure, in our sharing of mistakes, in our sharing of woes, it doesn't mean that we're the smartest person on the planet. It just means that we're intelligent enough to take responsibility for us, right? And I don't think I ever get on here and say, hey, I am just totally perfect. You know what I mean? Because I didn't come to play a perfect person. And if I did come to play a perfect person, I would have been born in much different circumstances, right? For me, my reaction to life was to get very hard, to be my number one protector, right? And I protect people, right? I'm not saying I'm a police officer. I'm saying I protect people. If I see somebody in need of help, in distress, I help. I might not put my hands on them all the time because, you know, I'm not licensed for that stuff, right? And I would never want to get sued by anybody crazy, right? But if somebody was needing my help, they needed CPR, and they needed stuff like that, they were choking, I could help them 1000%. I'll act fast. And I hope you do too, right? And so, and so what am I saying here with today's episode, right? Stepping out of line. Remembering who you are. Stepping out of line, because guys, in this role, have you ever heard like the sheep? The sheeple, we the sheeple. Well, people only say that in reference to people that are so hypnotized, right? They're so conditioned to see what happens when you start playing a sport. They condition you. Imagine life as a sport, and these people have been here for hundreds, if not thousands of years. I'm not saying they literally have been here thousands of years and they're vampires and la la la. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that these game plans to subjugate humanity has been kind of the protocol for like thousands of years, right? If you want to blame it on the patriarchy, go for it. You want to have somebody to blame the patriarchy. And I didn't say blame men. I said blame the patriarchy. It's two different things. Just because you're a man doesn't mean you are committed and you live in the house of patriarchy. That's not what that means. I know many men, many fantastic, outrageously awesome men that, and of course I know some fantastically, amazingly awesome, outrageously awesome women, okay, because we don't want to say something nice about the guys, not saying about the girl. People be like, hey, and I don't mean people, because if I was saying that about the girls, that I feel the boys would want to hear that too. So just to keep everything copacetic, we're gonna walk through this here now, and that's how it is, guys. For the patriarchy to live, not just men have to be in on it, women have to be in on it too, right? So check who your ego is going to, check who your religious points are going to, your spiritual points, who you're praying to, whose God are you praying to? Why am I the only person? I don't think I'm the only person, but in my life, I'm one of very few people that have gone atheist, that have gone agnostic, that have gone back to a believer in a system of creation that perhaps has creators. And like I stamped it on myself, I believe there's a hand of life. I don't know that there's a daddy or mommy attached to this. I just know that there's a hand to life, right? And we all come from it, right? So why stamp this on myself if I don't believe so? Okay, so I'm not here to prove anybody's anything. I'm not here to say, my God's bigger than your God is little, for the conquest he had to do. I don't know, you guys, I'm still a little bit bitter about the conquest stuff. And I'm just a little bit bitter. If your God has to kill, maim, rape, abuse millions and millions of people, then you're not a cool religion. But I respect you doing what you do, right? As long as, and with, you're going to respect what I do. You're going to respect the religion or the non-religion that I follow, okay? Because I'm not hurting nobody. I'm not killing. I'm not thieving, right? Look at the 47. We're witnessing him do so many fraudulent things, guys. What he's doing, he could have already been in jail for a bunch of stuff already. But, you know, guys, this is not something that we want to be like blind to. We don't want to ostrich this out. How are we going to do this? There's already people protesting. How am I protesting? Because I'm not out in the streets. How do I protest? Money. I make sure my money doesn't go to fat cows like Trump anymore. And if that's my right, if I want to, I have the free will, right? A lot of times I feel like people forget that we have certain inalienable rights that nobody can take away from us. Like the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. We are able to pursue life the way that it makes us happy. What is that? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That each person, should have been person right there. Each, because then men get all like glorified. Sorry, men. But I'm watching it. I'm watching it from somebody that is observing. I'm watching it. You're not high and mighty, dude. Just because we're different doesn't mean we're less. Just because men and women are different, we're not less. We're just different, right? And so anyways, guys, this is not a biology class. I'm not here to teach you about sex, genders. I'm not here to teach about anything like that. But if we're going to teach stuff, I'm going to always talk, and it will prevail out of my mouth that there are 5 different genders that the Native Americans believed before the conquest happened, and they came around and said only man and a woman can do whatever, can only marry and can only, whatever, procreate and whatever. Well, there was already 2 spirits living over here for centuries and centuries and centuries, and more than I can even account for, thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And we were thriving because there was millions of us here. So just because there's LGBT population in your community doesn't mean that the population of the earth is going to go down. You know what's happening? The population of the earth is down, and I'm going to be very blunt, and you have to hear it. And I'm so sorry, because I personally am on the journey to parenthood, right? No matter my age, despite my age, there's people way older than me having their first time children. And nothing's going to stop me from doing the dreams that were put in literally in my body to do and to do. Anyway, so now, there's some dreams I had to give up on, right? Oh man, I'm not going to be like, let's say you find out somebody that really wants a child finds out they're infertile. Well, that person then has to start thinking about other ways that they can fulfill their fatherhood or motherhood through adopting or fostering and stuff like that. Just because they're not able to do it, and that would be my case too. If I found out that I was infertile or something like that, I'd adopt 1,000 children. And but honestly, I think that's in the plans, right? Because I have all this motherly instinct. I'm like, what am I gonna wait? I'm not going to be able to put all this mother love into one baby. I'm gonna need many. So anyways, and this sounds crazy, right? In this economy, who wants all these babies? Well, you got your chance with your babies, and I need a chance with mine. So to each his own, guys. Some people will be older mothers. Some people will be very young, beautiful mothers. Some people will be older, very beautiful mothers, and that's how we live, right? But what I'm saying is that, and no hate. Again, no hate on men. There is certain men that I do not like, do hate. Men that have taken advantage of me, slapped me around, abused me, raped me, shit like that. You know what I mean? I have no sympathies for those guys. I hope they get their karma. I hope that just how they took advantage of me, that someone takes advantage of them, right? Just in the same way they took advantage of me, and I know they remember what they did. Because if I remember shit, they must also too. But what I'm saying is that what is happening is that the population is so low because women are deciding not to breed with men. We're saying, fuck, am I going to breed a little him? I literally, as a person with, you might know my issues, you might know not my issues or whatever, but for a person that's been looking for a good sperm, right? There's a lot of obnoxious men, super obnoxious, right? That they think that their dick size is gonna win the whole, like, I get to be the baby father thing. And let me tell you, your pervertism, you're loaning me off to your buddies. Like, this shit has happened in my look for fertile men, right? And I don't want to talk too much about my story, right? Because it's personal, right? And whatever I decide, I'm sharing what I'm deciding to share, right? If you want to know more, I have spilled more beans in other episodes, right? But as far as now, I've been a few years having to deal with this child stuff, right? And anyways, guys, I think the most important thing here is that we realize that, hey, I don't want you to become the man that women need to father babies with. I don't need you to be that. But I'm gonna need you to recognize that women actively are choosing not to breed with men because we choose the fucking bear. And one of my last episodes, I was like, this is so disappointing. Why are we choosing bears? Some guys are really nice. But then you start to hear stories about one woman being assaulted by hundreds of men and nobody reporting it. Different parts of the world. What kind of a bear does this? What kind of a bear holds you down and lets all the other bears come and have fun with you? So yeah, I'm going to choose, unless you're a gay man or you're one of my brothers, I choose bear. So I hope the earth repopulates with the men that I love. Because it's not fair, guys. There's also a group of men. And I'm not saying it's always all, I didn't say it's all men. It's always men, but it's always a man, right? A man that's doing this with other men. And I'm the first one to tell you, I'm not a man hater. I'm a man lover. And I'm a woman lover. And if you see one of my past episodes, I think I said something about, why are we choosing bears? Men are good. Deep inside, they're good. And so I start doing my stupid ass research because I'm a little nerdy like that. And I start doing research. And I'm finding out there's websites of upwards of 70 men telling each other how they're going to beat, rape, murder, trade each other's mothers, daughters, and fucking wives. Why is this something those particular men decided that it was okay to start a group? Let me invite my other friend because he feels that's just like something that I never thought would happen, guys. I didn't say I'm perfect. I'm not a robot. As you can see, I'm living, breathing, snotting being. Look, there's even embarrassing people in my family. If you call me embarrassing because I'm LGBTQ, then you're embarrassing. Because I would never stand in front of a person getting raped and then they get beheaded. This is sorry guys, I did not come here to like be nice to anybody or anything like that. But I came to wish you the best and remind you of who you are and where you come from, and where you come from is a deep divine. Where you are, it's just the matrix to that divine to give you an experience that's so personable, so emotional, so touchable. You're experiencing this in 3D. I just want to know, and a lot of times I cry and I'm like, why did I have to end up on this planet? Because if I look around to all the negative, I'm a crying and bumbling fool all day long, all night long, and everybody's like, why is she depressed again? I just looked around and I looked for all the negative, you know? So my tradition is to get up and look for the good, look for the helpers, right? Because if I stood there and I just looked at all the bad I'd drive myself even more insane than I already am. Right, guys? And so everybody relax. Women are not as terrible as you think they are. It's only been plagiarized and what do you call it? What is it, the legal term when somebody says something, lies about you? Slander. It's been slander, guys. It's been a perpetual slander against women so that there will be more perpetual violence and then therefore deaths towards women. This is like I'm watching with binoculars and I'm zooming in, and then I have night vision. This is crazy because I have night vision, right? What does that mean? It means that I like to stay up at night, and I literally am one with the moon. I'm best friends with the moon. Absolutely best friends. She calls on me a lot of times, outside of my window kind of stuff. And I'm with her all the time. And some people say it's a brother moon. I just like to call it a moon, you know. Fluctuating and making the earth as bipolar as ever. I mean, just look at the tides and the oceans and the waves. It changes every time, you know what I mean? So again, being encased in this woman's body, right? I have such an empathy and a sympathy for my fellow women, especially the ones that are still in the patriarchy, right? You don't have to come out as an all feminist and as all goddess bearing with your hips life. You know, you don't have to be that person. You don't have to come into enlightenment about how awesome your vagina is. Because for a long time they try to hide us behind pads and they try to stuff tampons in us so that we don't bleed naturally. And I mean, I'm so scared of that toxic shock syndrome that probably a lot of first, guys, stop killing us with different shit. I can't even use latex under there, so I have to use different kind of rubbers. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing latex actually ever goes into my body, right? I'm okay with wearing it, but if it goes into my body, it's a different story, right? So, you know, make those changes for yourself, guys. And I'm not mad at men. I'm just helping you realize, dude, like, you might be a good guy, but it's time for good guys to do more actions than the bad. It's time for the good guys to overwhelmingly use your spiritual power. You have the authority. And if it's like evil and demonic and blah, blah, blah things running after your brothers, you know, and some perverted sisters, right? Then it's those spiritual hands that they're going to catch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sit down, and you're going to learn some more. I can't even believe you tried to come up to my tribe. You didn't even know that we were disconnected, huh? But you know what, guys? I'm not just like, you already know I'd be angry. Right? You already know that I got that eternal rage against the patriarchy. Libations to the ancestors. All right, guys. So today's not going to be that long. I hope it's been at least entertaining. You're like, what'd you come on here for? Wow. Let me tell you. I always have like as long as I've been doing this, every year, sort of around my anniversary of being off of alcohol, I tend to come on here and tell you guys about it. It may be a month late. It may be 2 months late. But this year, it's 3 months late. I'm so glad you're not here because I was like spitting. You know when you like talk and spit? That's crazy. Should we be like swallowing? You know, right before we speak, so there's no like... Anyways, it's dramatic, cinematic. So, okay, guys. So, but... And men, once again, you're wonderful. Women, you're awesome too. We're 2 classes of our own, so have some class, guys. This is the time that we came to be us. And of course, if you're transgendered or you feel like a they or non-binary, you know, we respect that and we love you. You're a part of us. If there wasn't you, there'd be no us. You see, we all work intangibly and in such a connection that I believe a lot of stuff would collapse, including the universe, if you weren't here. Chispita. You know? And that's confirmation from Chispita. We need each other so much that we have such a bond that we intertangled in other lives and we intertangled as materials coming out of the Big Bang. We interacted as celestial chemistry, being thrown and invading lands that are being constructive magnanimously, right? Just out of nowhere it starts. There's the sound and creation begins. Some people say it was Om. Some people say it was Om. And some people say it was So, you know, and in other news, you know, they said it was a vibration, but vibration always comes with some sort of a sound, right? Like when your phone jiggles to tells you someone is calling or texting, there's a little thing inside your phone that makes it vibrate, and then you feel it. So from that depth of the creation, we've always been together. All this is just an illusion. It's just a fucking illusion. And we've literally always been one. Right? But we came to have a different experience. So that when we go back into the great like VCR, which is like, you know, paradise or home or whatever you call it, for whence we once came. We came from somewhere. Right? And I happen to believe that our etherical cord will never release us from it. So it's like a bungee. It's like, you know, it's like Australian people use the boomerang. You come right back to source. Source made you, source created you, and put you in this planet. So now it's up to us to get very emotional about it. You're here. You might not be queer, and it's okay. We not all of us came to have that similar experience, right? And I hope that in your ride, you remember that you came to be exactly who Source created you to be. Source put you exactly where you need to be, where you needed to be, where your family needs you to be, where your friends needed you to be. If I sat here and I was like, hey, you know, guys, I was just talking about how a lot of times I sit and cry when I see all the negativity in the planet. I mean, and then I cry even more when I'm the participant in negativity. right? So this is one of the things that we have to remember, right? I'm not saying that it's all happening inside of you, but the theory is that every emotion that's inside of you, all the war, all the confusion, everything like that, is just resembling what's out on earth, right? And therefore, that's why we have wars here and there and everything, you know, free Palestine, free every single place that's in war, free them. Why are we still in war? This is ridiculous. We got to put both our big feet down and stop war. If you stop making bombs, if you stop making artillery, if you stop sending it over there for a fee, like, it won't happen. And I tell you, if we go back to the days of the caveman, people still fought it out, right? Because, what? War is the worst type of communication there is. See, war is when we're trying to make peace. War is when one side wants the other side to be exactly like theirs. But this war inside of our hearts that is perpetuating itself in the matrix and actually having consequences is absolutely has to stop. Man, if you hate yourself, stop hating yourself. Go on this self-help routine. Go on this, I've never been this ready to enlighten my ass and put a light under my ass so I can fight for my ass so I can fight for their ass. You hear me? We need you guys to step up. This is not a joke. I don't need friends that are like, I was going to say stuff, but I need you to be who you are. I need you to be who you are. But at the same time, remember that self-growth, anything you put into self has dividends. It will pay off. Anytime you put some, listen, I don't get these guns from nothing, guys. There's work that has gone into my bulking. I'm not just fat right now. I'm not just chubby. I bulked for a reason, guys. I needed to weigh so much more than anybody could pick me up and kidnap me. You know what I mean? Besides, I'm unkidnappable because I fight and it's either your life or mine. So with that being said, guys, forgive yourselves for being men. There's nothing wrong with being men. Men are supposed to be here. And women, if you hate yourselves, if you're a woman hater, if you're the misogynist in the house, check yourself before you wreck us all. You hear? Your fight is our fight. Is we unite. They untie. They untie. They have no power. You understand? We are the baby makers. They're trying to pay us $5,000 per baby. Even though babies cost way more than that. Even the hospital bill when you leave the freaking hospital is more than $5,000. Come on. Give me at least 100 thou. Give me at least 100 thou. And I'll start popping them out. Anyways, guys. so okay, guys. I make jokes and stuff, but I'm being serious. Let's have the courage to work on ourselves a little bit more. Because I believe the deeper we go inside of ourselves, the deeper we heal the outside selves, right? So if we want to go back to the notion that we're all one, right? We came out of one hand. So if we all come from one source, we all remain one. But it's this individual ride that we came to have, right? Because the one can't just sit there in this state of observation, because it does, right? But then it comes into a state of observation in the human. Right? It comes to a state of observation in the raccoon. It comes to a state of observation in the octopus. It comes to a state of observation in the giraffe. So everything is a point of observation for our source. Now, why do the birds sing so gay? First, to remind us that everything is okay and that everything is safe. Right? So when you hear those birds chippering and chappering, they're not auditioning for American Idol. They are letting you know that everything is safe and everything is okay. And also they are telling the grass, check it out, it's science. The birds actually help the grass grow. The birds actually help the trees and leaves grow. It's kind of like a sign for them to start growing. Very beautiful. Very synergistic, right? Applause to the source for creating that, right? But we also come from a source that creates, certain parasites that eat. This is a morbid episode, guys. And there was no warning, but warning. Warning should have been at the very beginning. Maybe I'll put maybe the beginning of maybe the title will be warning. So you'll have safety listening. So there's even worms that will dig out through children's eyes or whoever catches them, and they will burrow through the eye and make the patient blind. So we also live in a world like that. We also live in our world that the Steve Irwin was taken away by his love of animals, right? And even him at the end of his life, I think he probably forgave that mantis. It was not a praying mantis, right? What praying mantis? Unless you were like a praying mantis from like another world, then maybe you could kill us. But the mantis, the manta ray. I'm sure he forgave that manta ray as he was, as he transitioned. So shout out to Steve Irwin. Help us on the other side. Because guys, okay, we're gonna end. We're gonna go. So I hope you remember that. Dude, call on your ancestors. Why do you think those plantations have been burning down? The ancestors have been called. There's no turning back, guys. The ancestors were called. We wrote to the ancestors. We blew smoke to the ancestors. We were like, ancestors. No joke. Hey, I'm not saying anybody caused those plantation fires, but I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to continue. Just because the ancestors are going to start to learn, the dead ones are going to start to learn how to ignite things, because that came out of somewhere, right? The firefighters came and check it out. It's in Louisiana or something like that. This plantation, I might be wrong about the state, but a plantation burned down, and the firefighters came and turned it off, and then it reignited again, further burning it more to the ground. Because in all honesty, all of those things can be burned to the ground. I mean in a protesty way, and I don't mean go burn things. No, I didn't say that. I'm not condoning going to burn. No, I'm saying let the ancestors handle it. Saying they have been called, they have been summoned. Okay, so we're not the same as our grannies and our grandpies. We're much more fortified. We're a tad bit more intelligent, and they are this. They're not looking at us with shame. They know we're supposed to upgrade. They look at their ancestors and say, "You're supposed to be 1,000% better than me." Let's see. I'm certain that the ancestry that you come from, whether you know it or not, the ancestry you come from is standing behind you. Think of 999 ancestors that you don't know, or maybe that you do know. The aunts, the uncles, the dads, the moms, whoever's passed away, the sisters, the brothers. Think of them behind you. Think of them to the side of you. And then just imagine a whole another crew until you come up with 999 souls surrounding you constantly, vigilantly, never leaving you, always whispering, "What are you going to do next for our family line? What are you going to do next?" Because that's it, honey. You came to shine. You came to be bright for your specific genes. You didn't come here to be a punching bag. You didn't come here to be a slave. You didn't come here to be an idiot, to end up in their mass incarceration cells. You didn't come here to do that. If you're in a mass incarceration cell, do everything you can in your power to be the best person you can. Get the fuck out of there and never return. We need strong, powerful, great men to show up, stand up for yourself, first and foremost. Because like on a plane, let me tell you, like on a plane, have you ever been on a plane? Go get him. So we're almost done, guys. But so think about it. Like on an airplane, when they teach you, what do they teach you? In case of emergency. I was going to do something for dramatic effect. In case of emergency, put your mask on first. In case of emergency, put your mask on first. In case of emergency, put your mask on first. In case of emergency, put your mask on first and then help others. Do you understand that? Help yourself first, and then help us all if we need it. Okay? So, and I'm telling you guys, we got this. We got this. But it's time that we all start standing up. Of course, I'm not just directing the get help at men. I'm directing the get help for everyone, right? In general, I think everyone benefits from therapy, and everyone benefits from growth, from healing, from enlightenment of oneself. I think everybody benefits. I didn't say you're never going to make a mistake again once you start healing yourself. I didn't say that. We're going to make many mistakes, but the true sign of intelligence is that you move forward and you never commit those actions again, right? Mistakes happen, guys, and forgive yourself, forgive others, but also do your best to move forward and never be that mistake person again, right? Let that person take the fall for you and say, okay, you're dead. Because of your actions, you're dead. I can no longer be with you, hang out with you. I can't give you the notion, the thought that you would exist. Do you understand that? That's what I had to tell myself. And I remind you again that today we celebrate me and little Chispita. Say hi. Yeah. So today we celebrate, guys, February 21st, 2016. 2015, I took my last drink of alcohol, of real alcohol. Because since then I have had like non-alcoholics and stuff like that. Not too often, but they do happen. So 2016, February 21st. So that would make it 9 years and 3 months today that I haven't drank any real alcohol. I haven't had a buzz, things like that. It's been many, many moons and many beautiful moons that I have not had a hangover, right? It's awesome. I can't even express how grateful I am to my past self for making that step out of line because, when we look around to addictions in oneself, you have to say, okay, what can I actively work on? Not because others can't, but because it's come towards me. Now, what are we going to do? Right? So basically, when alcohol was taking over my life, it was going to put me in jail. I know it. And, I know I was going to either kill someone or kill myself. So, I don't drink. I don't drink anymore. And if you're one of those people that are, quote, allergic to alcohol, just give it up. Just give it up. There's 1,000 other better things out there. There's even one herb out there that makes you feel like you're drunk, but it's not alcohol. It's something else. I might have to put a little post of it, make a little note, because I can't remember the name. So I think I'll put it in the notes, a comment. So, but anyways, yes, it has been 9 years and 3 months. And if you're thinking of quitting anything, if you're thinking about giving up, please do give up anything. I'm sorry, but I'm too classy at this point, almost 10 years down the line. I'm too classy to ever have a hangover again. You know what I mean? To me, they're not the bag. Like, I don't want to feel hungover. I remember that. And it just got worse and worse as I aged. And I'm glad she's listening. She's so cute. But yeah, I'm glad I give it up, guys. And I hope that in me sharing my celebration, right? Woo! 9 years, 3 months. So here we are. Take your libations, whatever you're drinking, drink safe and responsibly. And again, if I'm encouraging you to go sober, I know I do smoke the herb, but you don't even have to do that. Take a chance in facing life sober. Right? Take a chance in seeing how you are. Show up for yourself because you always do something good, right? Show up for yourself because you always do something good. So letting go of alcohol was one of the best things I've ever done in my life, right? I encourage you to. If you already tried to be sober, try it again. Try it again because I'm telling you, it pays off. I think I'm aging better. I do have a filter on, but pretty much look like this. I makeup less. So I'm just saying, take a chance on yourself. And I mean, I find time to do other things, right? And whenever I don't smoke, right, I find time to do other things too. Whenever I'm not on podcasts, I find things to do, right? So in order to come away from addiction, whatever, if you're addicted to something, just remember that take it one day at a time. My favorite slogan for my first year, and sometimes I do that now because sometimes I'll be at it's not even, to this day, it's not really existent, but there's times I have a stressful day, right? Who doesn't want to crack one? In that case, I might open a non-alcoholic beer, right? Corona has really non-alcoholic beer. Okay, so in my beginning of the years, I remember saying this, and I learned this from my dad. Shout out to fathers because they're wise, right? Keep being wise. We love that. Okay, so I remember my dad told him, Dad, I'm gonna like stop drinking, right? Because that's it. La, 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 la. I'm very like friends with my dad, so I'm talking to him and stuff. He's like, "Whoa, mija, you know what I did when I stopped drinking? I actually took the lead from him because he stopped drinking." And I was like, "Oh, if he can, oh, that's cool. Okay, if he can, he's much older than me, and okay, if he can, I can. Okay, this is reasonable." Keep in mind, I had tried over and over to stop drinking. I mean, years prior to actually stopping. But I stopped drinking for months, and then I drink again. I stopped drinking for months, and then I drink again. So I remember what led to the point of me just never picking up an alcoholic beverage again. My dad said, just for today, I won't drink. Just for today, I won't drink. And then he's like, he got to a point that he would get to I remember him telling me the story. He would get to the liquor section of the store, and he would say, not today. It's not for me. Not today. It's not for me. And he would just walk away. And I was like, whoa, okay, wait. If it worked for you, it might work for me. So that's what I did. I just started telling myself, just for today, I'm not going to drink. Just for today, it's not for me. I didn't say 10 years. Here we go. This 9 years and 3 months is a surprise, guys. I am surprised that I'm here. I literally thought I was going to kill myself on alcohol, right? If you've been suicidal, sorry, but you probably thought about a lot of ways, right? So I definitely thought that I was going to die on alcohol because I was just an alcoholic. So anyways, 9 years, 3 months later, I'm here to tell you that everything is possible. Everything is achievable. If I did it just by taking it day by day, just for today, I'm not going to drink. Just for today, it's not for me. Just for today, I'm going to do something else. All right. So just figure out what's best for you. And remember that any forced addiction that is upon you is being programmed by something. Okay. You're not just addicted by chance. There's something that happened in your life, or there is programming that you are following, or there is trauma that you are hiding. Or maybe you just love to drink and you just love all that stuff. And I love you, and I encourage you to be safe, responsible, and always be coherent enough to watch your own back. Okay? Because I have tons of stories. You can go back in the stories where I remind you of my failures of when I was drinking, and I ended up getting date raped several times. And so again, remember that anything that I can do, you probably can do better. Okay? You want to hear that again? Anything I can do, you can probably do better. Okay? And I put you to the test. Maybe, I don't know. This is a wild thought. Maybe 1 month, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Just try for a day. I don't know, guys. I went for I never want to have this hangover feeling again. And that's what really convinced me to latch onto the words, just for today, I'm not drinking. Just for today, it's not for me. So, it wasn't by chance that I ended up sober. It's because it was hurting me. It was hurting my life. It was hurting people around me because I was not myself on alcohol. Right. So rest in peace Rest in peace to that old version of me that will never exist again, because she's not allowed. It's just not allowed. We're classier than that. And again, if you're dealing with your own issues, do not guilt yourself. Then you're just going to fall into a cycle of guilt, and nobody wants that. Empower yourself by saying goodbye to the person that makes you make mistakes under the influence or whatever the fuck. Because some of us are addicted to rage, right? I can only speak for myself that I'd be angry and I'd be like, rage. So not every addiction has to be a drug. But every addiction is a drug. Like I just mentioned, the rage. That can be an addiction, right? Who might be addicted to getting angry? Who might be addicted to being depressed? Who might be addicted to being anxious? Who might be addicted to being a victim, right? So there's so much different stuff that you can addict yourself to, right? So have the courage to come out of the addiction. You came from Source, and Source put you on this planet, not to be an addict, not to be a repeat of the mistakes, but to learn from us. I'm not here showing my ass, telling you all the truths of my life, embarrassing myself. I literally embarrass myself half the time. But I'm not gonna share my shit for you not to observe the pothole that I fell in and then steer away from it. Stay away from it. Right? So one of the best decisions in my life was to give up alcohol. I no longer say, oh, if I could drink like you, I would keep going, because I think that gives people the nerve to keep going lightly. So have the courage to stop any addiction you have and replace it with a healthy, substantial to your benefit, right? Make it beneficial for you. Give up all things that are not good, right? So, I mean, and if you're a rebel, do all the things, right? Because you can be like, I'm not going to do nothing. Okay, so, all right, guys. You're awesome. You're loved. Remember who you are. And where you are, guys, remember that you have been delivered through so much. I don't know your life. I might not know everything about you, but I know that if you're on this planet, you're going through stuff. I know I'm not alone. I know you didn't have a perfect life either. So, because I mean, when I talk to anybody, I mean, I get fragments of this human condition. Like, there was this, there was that, you know. Just because the person has one appearance doesn't mean they're hiding a whole world. They're not hiding, right? Because it's so easy to keep things inside, right? So get therapy, get help, guys. There's help out there for you guys. Replace addiction with, I was going to say benediction, but I'm not that religious at all. So replace it with something beneficial for yourself. I encourage you. I love you. You're guided by the spirit of 999 ancestors roaming around you constantly. Okay. And I'm 100% sure I would love to see your purposes fulfilled. I don't think there's just one purpose. I think there's many purposes we have as human beings on the planet. I think that your ancestors would love to see you thrive and get out of survival mode. I think that you're more than honorable and you have the wisdom and the intelligence to go forward. Okay? So everybody, continue having a wonderful life. This has been a pleasure. Remember, we come from Source. We're here divinely guided and living in this joyful universe as one, guys. So go separately, individuatedly, be yourselves and be so awesome. Be so awesome that you make us all shine just by being yourself. Heal so good that all your family heals and it starts resonating through everybody else's family. Heal. Heal for yourself. Heal for the people that won't. Just heal, be happy. Even if you don't understand what that means. Heal what? Heal what am I supposed to heal? If you don't understand that, then understand that make yourself happy. Make yourself happy, and that's how we beat them. Make yourself happy, and that's how we beat them. And I'm done talking about protests because you're smart enough to know what you should be buying, where you should not be buying. So, smart shop. Put your money into wise places. Be happy because that's what they don't want. You understand? Your happiness is rebellious. Okay? So remember that your ancestors are behind you. When you stand, you're coming as 1,000 strong. You yourself, right there, individual, right there, as you stand, by your lonesome, not by your lonesome, surrounded by strangers, not surrounded by strangers. There's 999 ancestors just coasting with you forever, because you're showing up as 1,000. Bring it. Bring the 1,000, guys. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful life. Remember who you are. All right, guys. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Remember to step out of line. Step all the way out of line. Go be yourself. Don't even try to like be a sheeple, guys. All right. Something I'm going to leave with is who remembers the girl from God, I don't have that much time. Okay, who remembers the girl from Family Guy? The mom, the Lois. Okay, her character, Alex Bornstein, the lady that plays her voice, and I remember her from Mad TV long ago. She's very funny, very hilarious. She looked like a man. She was very funny. So Mrs. Swan, or so she played Mrs. Swan on Mad TV. All right, so Alex Bornstein had this fabulous speech. She won an award for some acting she's doing recently. And she said, step out of line, right? She grabbed the award and she starts with this. Step out of line, ladies. She's like, my grandmother, she literally shared a story. I'm going to say it third person now, right? She said a story about her grandmother in the Holocaust as a young child. And so this grandmother was standing in line to get shot, right? Sorry, whenever you come to my channel, we talk about real stuff. We don't say grape. We don't pretend like the Holocaust didn't exist. So Alex Bornstein's grandmother was standing in line to get shot, and basically the Nazis would gather the human trafficked people, the Jewish, the gays, the disabled, and all that, bring them forward in a line of execution, and then they had the pit, like a human body pit. Shoot them and they fall in. And this Alex Bornstein's grandmother is standing there in line, and she turns to a guard and she says, what happens if I step out of line? The guard replies to her, if you step out of line, I don't think I have the heart. I do not have the heart to shoot you, but somebody else will. So what did Alex Bornstein's grandmother do? She stepped out of line. She stepped all the way out of line. She survived the Holocaust. She gave birth to her own children. And then those children, one of those children gave birth to Alex Bornstein. And I laugh because not all the children cannot have Alex Bornstein. Only one child can have Alex Bornstein. I love her so much. She's funny. She's funny. I've known her since I was a teenager. Mad TV, was on a long time ago. And some of you probably don't know what that is. Look it up. It's funny. Mad TV, Mrs. Swan. Anyways, guys. Step out of line. Step out of line for your future. Step out of line for you. Step out of line. Because that's what you must do. Remember that. They want you to be depressed. They want you to be anxious. They want you to kill yourself and never come back. You're a helpful, wonderful, beautiful soul. You deserve to be here more than anybody. And looking at the negative is just one aspect of life. But looking at the positive is another. If you look at the positive, what are you going to find? In moments of emergency, you see helpers. Yes, there might be this and that and whatever apparent negativity, but there's helpers, there's good. There's people that want to do so good. They study, they do all these things to make sure that humans can stay alive. Even though death is inevitable, right? Inevitable, they say, right? All right, guys. I hope this hasn't been too depressing. Remember that anybody can, if I did something like quit alcohol, anyone can do it better. I'm telling you. That's 1,000. That's 1,000. Okay, that's because you stand as 1,000. Remember that. So when you think you're not strong enough, remember that you come as 1,000. So you use all the power of the ancestors to help you stop any addiction that's happening, right? So step up for yourself. Step up for life, guys. You're wonderful. Take care. Have a good one. You're blessed. Let's end with a tiny prayer. Yeah. Thank you, Mother and Father God, for letting us get together today. Whether you're source, whether you're creator, whether you're God, we are calling you and we hearken to you. You listen to us and you answer our prayers. So we're so thankful that you let us get together. We're thankful that you let us see our true selves. We're thankful that you let us see where we come from and exactly where you put us is the right place. Thank you, Mother and Father, creator, for the understanding of existence, for knowing you without sex, for knowing you with sex. So in that knowing, we know our true selves. A divine version of you having a human experience. So we're so thankful for this planet and how the solar system works. We're thankful for that bipolarism of the earth and the tides that it makes. We're thankful for every celestial thing that has to be in existence. So we're so thankful for our health, our family, our friends, our pets, and everything in existence in our life. For we know that it came from something. From nothing was made something. And through your organisms and materials on the planet, we are able to make materials and have a fruitful life here. So we're so thankful, and we give you the thanks, the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Ashe, guys. All right, you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. All right, guys. Love you.